Roadside verges and fields lushly overgrown. Just some observations about the un-Dutch rolling landscape of Limburg, the most southern province of the Netherlands. Beautiful timbered frame houses. Here and there, secluded castles, centuries old. Limburg, the land of the contented people, where one can experience something of a Burgundian lifestyle on one of the many quaint terraces so characteristic of the province. Messrs. Schlangen and Wegbrands put up with this well. Ger Schlangen works at the Provincial Limburg Electricity Company, or PLEM. As a staff member of the Energy Transport Department, he is responsible for the high-voltage cable network. It's a job he naturally takes very seriously. Bas Wegbrands is also a solid character. As project engineer at NKF Kabel BV in Delft, he works on larger cable projects over 50 kV. In these jobs, Ger and Bas are working to a common goal, the successful execution of the project 150 kV XLPE Kerkrade. The project involves a 150 kilovolt cable connection covering 6.5 kilometers. The total length of cable to be laid is 38,000 meters. The link consists of 2 3-cable circuits, whereby the 3 are laid side by side in one trench. The individual cable lengths will be joined by a so-called molding joint, 6 per pit and 36 in all. For technical and economic reasons, the line between the stations had to cut through the landscape in as straight a line as possible.
Dat betekende een kabelverbinding dwars door een van de mooiste delen.
It was a connection crossing through one of the most beautiful parts of Limburg, but it was all well thought out before we put the line down on paper. We had a choice of several cable systems. We chose the system which was most environment friendly, low on maintenance, and inexpensive, an XLPE insulated cable system. Good choice, made in consultation with NKF. An advantage of this cable is that its concept is clean and simple. The cable is made as follows. A solid aluminium conductor is covered by a conductor screen, insulation, and insulation screen, which are extruded in one process on the long die line. Very ingenious. Of all the possible conductor cross-sections, a 400 square millimeter solid aluminium conductor was finally selected. This conductor was chosen because it best met current carrying capacity demand. On top of the insulation screen comes a swelling tape and the lead sheath. Finally, the high-density polyethylene outer sheath. This ensures everything is watertight. To reduce the number of cable lengths to be produced and transported, the exact line and position of the molding joints had to be very carefully chosen. We divided the line into 7 sections. 2 sections follow the public road. We then follow a horse riding path, through an open field, across a train track, partially through the town of Kerkrade, and again through the Bierenbos area to the new 150 kV station. And last but not least, a section diagonally through one of the most beautiful nature areas of Limburg, the so-called Green Lung. Here, the environment is top priority. Everyone involved agreed to work on this section with the greatest care. The sections are linked together with molding joints. While people in Limburg are busy completing a joint pit, the finishing touches are being given to the cable lengths produced at NKF in Delft. The production of cable at the factory and the activities in the field must be precisely coordinated. From the initial request through the delivery of the cable, all stages of production at NKF are undertaken according to a strict quality assurance system. Production is so controlled so that output is of a constant and predictable top quality. Because of this quality assurance system, NKF has been certified by the Dutch Electricity Standards Authority, the NVKEMA. Before the cable lengths leave the factory, each is tested and approved under the supervision of KEMA.
Spanningsproef is gereed, een half uur 230 kV. Oké.
Semi-trailers come and go. Piece by piece, the cable lengths arrive at the installation site. After a last inspection by NKF, the cable lengths are readied for the big pull. Laying begins at the substation in Tervinsula. Meter for meter, the cable is lowered into the trench, straight through layers of clay. The cable is led under 200 meters of public road with the help of a water-filled pipe. Finally, the cable is laid in a loop at the substation to ensure there will always be extra length for any future extensions or detours.
Nog iets sneller draaien, Chris. Kan je mij verstaan? Kan je mij verstaan, Chris?
The moodiness of the Dutch weather makes itself felt again. Cold and rain make the laying on the way to the green lung difficult. But rain or shine, laying continues. The cable passes the centuries-old Castle Ehrenstein. Under the water supply of the castle's moat and the rowing pond, thrust boring has already been carried out. From here, the cable line rises through a pasture in the direction of the town. The fair landscape of the green lung is crossed carefully. As soon as the pull is complete, the trench is given a last inspection. The cable is then covered with tape and clean sand. In no time, all trace will have disappeared, at least above ground. The unsuspecting digger is quickly warned. Past a favorite playground for children, for the time being occupied by the fifth and second to last joint pit. It is hardly noticeable between the surrounding towering flats, though the residents take special notice of the extraordinary scene. In another joint pit, men are hard at work bonding the cable ends together with the molding joint principle. Using the molding joint principle demands low dust content of air during assembly. The container, which is placed over the joint pit, is provided with various pieces of equipment which makes fast and clean work possible. The conductors are first stripped. Layer after layer of insulation is stripped off. The conductors are readied for the weld. After the conductors are welded together, a very special process takes place. Under extremely clean conditions, the welded conductor is wrapped in PEX tape. The protector is essential to working absolutely dust-free. The following phase in the joint pit is the cross-linking of the insulation. Then the sleeve is finished. 6 per pit. The last laying process has begun. Carefully, the cable lengths are pulled into the trench on the way to the new 150 kV station. And despite the difference in height over a short distance, oil barrier joints on a dry XLPE insulated cable connection of NKF are no longer necessary. The last obstacle to be overcome is a stream. It is solved by a specially built cable bridge, sturdy enough to be able to withstand the ravages of a heavy storm. The other side is reached without a problem. The last meters to the main distribution station are laid without a hitch. The cables are in place. At the station, they work hard to get things operational on time. At both the main distribution station and substation, NKF men are undertaking the final tasks. In a large tent, the outdoor ceiling ends are assembled. The tent protects these accessories against wind and rain during their assembly, while the engineers complete their high-precision work. "38,000 meters of cable have been laid, the 36 molding joints made, and numerous obstacles overcome. The last joint pit can be covered in." As soon as the outdoor ceiling ends are complete, the whole XLPE insulated cable connection can be tested in the presence of the client. The link is given the green light. The excitement is switched off after the high tension is switched on. In discussion with the contractor and client, a connection has been made entirely to the norms of the quality assurance system of NKF. Ger and Bas are relieved. Their responsible task has been completed to the full satisfaction of all. No better way to celebrate than Limburg's own special one. And what do they talk about? Their challenges and experiences, and the successful conclusion of the 150 kV XLPE Kerkrade and the NKF cable.